Good evening, everyone. I'll call this North Liberty City Council meeting to order. Today's Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Leibold?
Here.
Park?
Here.
Sittig?
Here.
Smith? Wason?
Here. Item 3 is approval of the agenda. There are no changes. Could I have a motion for consideration?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Sittig, seconded by Wason. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Our agenda is approved. Item 4 is our consent agenda. Anything on there to pull out? Good question earlier about one topic. Anything else? Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Wason, seconded by Leibold. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda carries. Item 5 is public comment. Now is an opportunity for anyone in the audience who wishes to address council on anything that's not already on our agenda. Please do so. Seeing no one rush to the podium, I will close our public comment. Item 6 is our engineer's report, please, Josiah.
All right, thank you. It's good timing. Everything just froze for a second on the computer. Okay. Quick hitters updates. Forever Green Road extension. We've talked about that project in the past and how we're aiming for a phase 1 project. I think last time we talked was about this concept statement that has been submitted to the DOT. They have been reviewing it. They've submitted a number of follow-up questions to us, which we're going through with the Corville staff before we resubmit. So that is on the way and working through the system. Forever Green Road and Jasper Avenue improvements, the roundabout there, and the improvements. We've got coming up a couple items just to keep you updated in the loop. The city staff design kickoff. We need to start meeting with the utility companies. There's lots of utilities in there, so we have a utility coordination meeting with those folks up front, and then we'll start developing our conceptual layouts to determine what those impacts are to the utilities so they can make plans to get relocated. So that's our first push on that one. The other big project we've got is Rancho Way Phase 6. That's federal aid project. That's also had a concept statement submitted. And again, those two are kind of in the same boat. We've got the kickoff meeting coming up, initial utility coordination meeting. And one of the first things we're going to look at there is locating the pedestrian tunnel, how we want that to sit in there and connect not only with the roadway, but the surrounding trail network. Quick note on the Interstate 380 and Penn Street interchange work. The official pre-construction meeting did occur for that last week. No new big picture items on the schedule. They're planning to start work probably this week on that. Of note, we did have a meeting with DOT staff and some of their other people to come up with a notification plan for closures and detours and ramp closures and things like that, so that we can make sure the community relations department's in the loop and fire and police, because they'll be impacted when those ramps are closed. So that's in process. And I think that's it for new stuff for this month. So unless there's questions about specific things going on around town.
Josiah, can you remind us what's going to start this week out there at Penn Street?
Well, the first ramp won't be closed for a while yet, until later this spring or summer, but you're going to start seeing work in and around Penn Street. The bridge stays open, so they maintain traffic across the bridge, and the ramps are open, but you're going to see some shifts and flaggers and people starting to move around and work on the edges. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for Josiah? Thank you very much. Ryan, item 7 is our city administrator report.
Okay, thank you. Handful of things for you this evening. First, wanted to let you know that we submitted 4 grants to the MPO yesterday, Monday, the due dates were. And by we, I should really call out Ryan Rusnick, Russ, and Josiah, who worked on these 4 applications. And just to give you a quick rundown, this year there were 3 different funding categories. Surface Transportation Block Grant, which you've probably all heard us talk about, the STBG grant. We submitted a joint application with Coralville in the amount of $4 million. This is to continue work on the East Forever Green Road extension. So think, east of the roundabout in front of North Central Junior High. We submitted we submitted one grant for the Transportation Alternative Program. This is also called TAP. Obviously, we're big on what's the word I'm looking for? Not cinnamons, but
Acronyms.
acronyms. Thank you. With all these grant applications, TAP is trail money, and so we submitted for a $465,000 grant for the Forever Green Road Trail that would connect Covered Bridge Road to Jasper. So when we are done with that Jasper roundabout, and then eventually this trail will have a connection into Tiffin on a trail, so that would be convenient. And then lastly, we submitted two projects for the carbon reduction program, or CRP. One is what Josiah mentioned earlier, the tunnel on Ranchaw Way. So we're looking to not only, we already have STBG funds for that project in the amount of 2.9. We're looking to supplement that with another close to $900,000 if we're awarded. And again, it's a very competitive process. It's likely we won't get awarded the full amount on all these projects, but hopefully we'll be able to certainly secure some funds. And then the other project on the carbon reduction program is down the road, the Dubuque Street Zeller intersection. This would be the three-way stop by Rayos and True Value area. And so we applied for $1.7 million for that project. So we should find out here in the next month or so what, if any, funds we were awarded. But again, kudos to Russ and Josiah for putting those together. There's a fair amount of effort that goes into that, so many thanks to both of you. And then earlier this year, I promised this group some good presentations at council meetings. I haven't delivered so far. We've had some setbacks with some of those, so we are planning to have Strand Engineering at the March 25th council meeting. That is confirmed now, to present our water and wastewater facility plans. So that we'll go through those plans and talk about future projects needed to keep up with our growth. And then we'll have a couple different economic development proposals in front of you, one at the March 11th meeting and one at the March 25th meeting. So we will have some presentations and probably a little lengthier meeting for both of those to get through some of that information. That's what I have tonight, unless there are questions.
Thanks, Ryan. Are there any questions? All right. Item 8 is Mayor's Report, and I will just quickly highlight or the most important thing I did was last Friday morning. Ryan and I, along with Coralville and Iowa City mayors and administrators, met with Greater IC Executive Committee, the Iowa City School District, a team from the University of Iowa, which also included President Wilson, and to help understand what's going on regionally and the impacts that might either already be in place because of federal funding being reduced, or planning for what may be funding reduced out there. And we really focused on what resources we have to bear here as a region, and those connections we have at the federal level, but more importantly across the state of Iowa. What happens here in Johnson County mirrors a lot of what happens across the state of Iowa, but we have this anchor at the University of Iowa that makes us a little bit unique, and also sometimes a target here at the state level. So Greater IC, remind me if Ryan, I think, is putting together a group to look at ways for us as a region to provide some advocacy outside of Johnson County, across the state of Iowa, engaging with others in the state. So connections that you have either at work, through other nonprofits, other advocacy groups that you have connections with already, look for some additional guidance that we may be able to put out there to bolster support, not just here locally, but across the state and also at the federal level. So that's where we are. And if you guys have any questions or wonder how some of these things are playing out here locally, don't be afraid to ask us, or if you have any suggestions or ways that you might want to pitch in and help in that, we're always rolling this together right now. So with that, I'm going to move on to the proclamation we have on tonight's agenda. And this is for International Women's Day and Women's History Month. Whereas March 8th is observed around the world as International Women's Day to celebrate the women's achievements, raise awareness about discrimination, and take action to promote gender parity. And whereas the United States has, since 1989, recognized March as National Women's History Month, and whereas the United Nations has promoted the advancement of women throughout its 80-year history, and whereas many individuals and organizations in the community are working to ensure equity for women and girls, and whereas the Johnson County United Nations Association and over 20 local businesses, nonprofit organizations, and University of Iowa entities are sponsoring Night of 1,000 Dinners, a community celebration of International Women's Day on Thursday, March 6th from 6 until 8 p.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Society in Coralville to recognize women-led groups and initiatives advancing UN Sustainable Development Goal number 3, good health and well-being. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Chris Hoffman, Mayor of North Liberty, proclaim March 8th as International Women's Day and the month of March as Women's History Month in North Liberty, Iowa, and call upon residents to recall the achievements of women and recommit to the goal of full gender parity. I believe there are a couple of additional comments here tonight. 3. You're welcome to come on up. Yeah, please.
Got it?
Does that work?
That's perfect.
Oh, I need my glasses. I'm Carol Lyons. I've been a resident of North Liberty for 51 years as of last December, which seems like a long time. And I'm here both as a resident of the community and as a member of 2 United Nations groups in the Johnson County United Nations Association and the Iowa United Nations Association, who are sponsoring this proclamation. And also here with me tonight is another resident of Johnson County who will say a few words in a little bit. The Johnson County United Nations Association exists primarily to advocate for the United Nations and to work to educate and inform people about the many branches and activities of the United Nations. We want to thank Mayor Hoffman and the North Liberty City Council for signing this proclamation that acknowledges March 8th as International Women's Day and the month of March as Women's History Month. People around the world celebrate International Women's Day. And every year on a date close to International Women's Day, the Johnson County United Nations Association holds a fundraising event that Chris mentioned called the Night of 1,000 Dinners to celebrate International Women's Day and to support local organizations. And he told you the next week is when that will be, March 6th at the Unitarian Universalist Society in Coralville, which is almost in North Liberty, just barely outside. And we want to thank the City Council for also donating to this fundraising occasion. The dinner's an international buffet, and the proceeds benefit several local organizations this year, namely the Free Medical Clinic, the Free Dental Clinic, Prairie Lands Freedom Fund, and Healthy Start for Refugee Children. And the Sustainable Development Goal, Chris also read, good health and well-being is what's being focused on this year. The donation made by the North Liberty City Council, I think some of you know at least that it includes 3 tickets to the dinner that will be free for whoever uses them, and somebody in your group is working on who might want to use those tickets and knows where to send the names in. There are no physical tickets, it's all send the names online. The United Nations is the only place that exists in the world where 196 countries in the world can come together to exchange ideas, occasionally pass resolutions or something else, and work with the various departments and organizations of the UN. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals set targets for the world to strive for between now and 2030 and include such things as reducing poverty and hunger, achieving good health, striving for education for all, taking necessary climate action, and other international priorities. There are lots of things going on. And, yeah, Dad. Go ahead, Stephanie. Oh, Stephanie, sorry.
Thank you, Carol.
Good evening. I'm Stephanie Munsterman. New resident in North Liberty, moved here in September from Cedar Rapids, so happy to be here. So newest compared to Carol. Thank you, City Council members and Mayor, for this proclamation, especially during this current social landscape. Remembering the achievements of women and girls is incredibly appreciated, because hopefully, as you know, that when women and girls thrive, communities will prosper. So again, thank you very much for your support.
Mayor, councilors, thank you for this proclamation. I'm Ed Cranston. I live just on the other side of Dubuque here. It's wonderful that you're taking this lead to do this. As Carol mentioned, the Iowa United Nations there's several sustainable goals, and this is one that's very important. And I'm on the board of the Iowa United Nations and also a member of the Johnson County United Nations Association. So I just want to do a big thank you, and hopefully you'll make it to the event coming up on the 6th. Thank you.
I promise we do have folks slated to join you, so that
Great.
information
Thank you.
will get out to you very soon. You want to take a photo? Sure. Over all here? It's your opportunity to shine, everyone, or step back.
I'll step
I don't know how it goes.
I'm too far out of the picture to be in the picture.
Let's come up here by the
So you can catch the logo behind it. So, Carol, when she first moved here, she had a carousel.
We'll do a vertical one first. Once you squeeze in there. Yep. You won't bite, I promise.
No zoning restrictions on that in the
Well,
front
the
yard?
planner allowed it. It was the side yard.
Whoops, get one more.
Whately.
Okay.
Oh.
Remember, she said she's been here 51 years? But what a cool, I mean, she's got it on George. I think she's a double lot.
Yeah.
I'll move on to item 9, which are council reports. Anything that you guys want to report on that you've been doing on behalf of the city in the last 2 weeks? All right.
Oh, wait. Sorry, just a quick, nothing from an activity standpoint, especially, but I think it's important to take this opportunity as we transition from winter into spring to recognize a few groups. And first and foremost, really a big thank you with the weather that has broke this week, but the cold that we saw last week. Really a lot of appreciation to our road crews, our maintenance crews, our utility crews that take care of the city behind the scenes and even out at all hours of the night taking care of things. So we really appreciate that. And then the police and fire department as well, right? We're blessed to have really outstanding teams, and those efforts do not go unnoticed. And I think just taking the opportunity to recognize those groups is important. So I wanted to say that. And then just at a different level, congratulations to all the high school kids with their winter sports activities that are either wrapping up or have wrapped up. There's everything from boys and girls wrestling, boys and girls basketball, but not only just the athletes, the dance teams, the band, the show choir, the activities, the volunteer opportunities. As we start to look at spring, recognizing those efforts that take place over the winter, I think are important as well. So I just wanted to recognize those groups.
Thanks, Brian.
Mayor, I was just going to mention that I sat in on the Trip Connect Lunch and Learn last week. It was mainly the same presentation as was given at MPO, but with some additional statistics, and it continues to grow, and it's good to see that. I think that's a program we should be looking at for future for the future in North Liberty.
Yeah, I failed to mention that I was on that as well. I thought there was some data that I was anxious to learn, and Ryan has assured me that we will get some numbers out of there that are specific to North Liberty. So I felt the same. Thank you for reminding us of that.
Yeah, and it was good to see how the app worked too. That was something that she didn't really do previously, or I hadn't seen previously. I also want to make sure that people in North Liberty know that they are welcome here, and there are things happening in Des Moines that are not, in my view, not appropriate. I want to make sure that people know, our residents know that I think our city is committed to being open and welcoming to everyone.
Thank you.
And one cool news item, Heartland Express, again ranked really high in the most trustworthy companies in the country. So they were number 21 in commercial transportation companies and 100-something overall out of several hundred companies. So
That's
pretty cool.
outstanding. Anything else? All right. I will move on to item 10, which is our library appointment. And we just so happen to have Stephanie here tonight doing double duty with us. Item A is to affirm the appointment of Stephanie Munsterman to fill an upcoming vacancy on the library board starting in May through June of next year. Could we need to do a roll call on this or just a simple motion? Voice vote. Could I have a motion for consideration?
So moved.
Second.
By Leibold, seconded by Sittig. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate you stepping in there.
Welcome to North Liberty.
Item 11 is North Liberty Road Trail Project, and item A is resolution number 2025-27. This is a resolution accepting the bid and authorizing execution of the contract for the North Liberty Road Trail Project, North Liberty, Iowa. Could I first have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Wason. Ryan or Russ, do you want to just give us a quick highlight on?
Yeah,
this
I'd
was.
take this one and just say we were extremely pleased with receiving 12 bids. I think I mentioned in the memo ranging from 1.4 million down to 1.08 million. The low bid and now confirmed responsive bid is by Metro Pavers. We did receive the contract late this afternoon from the IDOT, so that resolution is as good as written. We would recommend approval, and then we would get moving with the DOT and the contractor on signing contracts and getting other paperwork in order. As a reminder, this is a partially federal funded project, so there are a number of additional hoops to jump through before we can get started and throughout the process. So, but we're if the weather keeps up, and hopefully Councilor Leibold didn't jinx us with a comment about spring, but we will hopefully get rolling here when the weather permanently improves.
Terrific, thank you. Okay, are there any other questions or comments?
Just what kind of impact will that have on North Liberty Road? Is it, I assume we're going to be on the road working on it.
The bulk of the project is the trail, so there'll be work alongside the road, but the road will be open. When we build the pedestrian refuge island there by the dog park, some of that traffic will get shifted through there, but we're never going to close the road down during that construction. But like I said, most of it's on the side, so other than equipment and cones up, it's not going to be directly on the roadway.
Do you anticipate ever going down to one lane?
I think we have provisions in there for some flaggers when we're working by the dog park, because as you imagine, at some point they're going to have to prepare things and pave it, and so they're going to have to bring those concrete trucks in. And during those days, we're providing provisions in that contract that they can have flaggers and move people around while that's happening. So,
But that'd just be while they're on site, and then in the evening, go back to two-way.
yeah.
Remind us, what are the tentative dates for the project?
Let's see.
During the school year, for example.
I think I guess I didn't write it down here. I think our completion date for that is like August 8th or 12th or something. So to be wrapped up a couple weeks before school starts. Okay. Yeah. As far as like end date, until like Ryan said, we award the contract and go through and have a pre-construction meeting. At that point, we'll start to get some real data from the contractor on how they're going to approach it and when.
And even with, because part of the trail is right up against the road, right? Even with that portion being constructed, we're not going to need to worry too much about the road being open.
Say it, last part.
But we're not going to have to worry too much about the road being open, even with that construction right along, right
Oh,
next to the
yeah.
curb.
So there, on that section, we're up against it. You know, that road does have the paved shoulders on the edge, which they'll build off of. So again, yeah, there's going to be some construction along, but it's not going to close it down.
Okay.
Any other questions? Welcome, Brad.
Thank you, Mayor.
Hope your meeting went well.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Tracy, can we have a roll call, please?
Leibold,
Aye.
Sittig,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Wason.
Aye. That's it.
Okay. Item 12. Zoning and development fees. Item A is resolution number 2025-28, a resolution establishing certain zoning and development fees. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Sittig, seconded by Leibold. Any questions on this one? Ryan, in your memo, you mentioned, and Russ, that the fees in there that have been adjusted are the same as what you see in Coralville and Iowa City.
It's actually lower than Iowa City, similar to Coralville.
Okay. Tracy, could I have a roll call, please?
Smith,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Sittig.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 13 is Centennial Park Event Hall and Amphitheater Naming Rights Agreement. And this is item A, resolution number 2025-29, a resolution approving the naming rights agreement between the City of North Liberty and Hy-Vee Inc. that establishes the terms and conditions under which a sponsorship for Centennial Park Next Stage Park project will be provided. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Sittig, seconded by Wason. I'll just say without much more fanfare that this is an extraordinary gift, and the city is extraordinarily grateful for that from Hy-Vee. And it's been mentioned already, but I also wanted to acknowledge Jillian Miller. She's been out there doing great work and developing great relationships throughout our community, and we're extremely grateful to have her as well. Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
Could I say just one thing?
You sure can.
Thank you. Just off that point, or on that point, Jillian, Josh Schomburger, and I went into Hy-Vee over 2 years ago to have our first conversation with them. And then from there, Jillian took it and ran with it, probably dealt with 8 or 9 different people at Hy-Vee to end up here. And so we're very grateful for her efforts, and of course, very appreciative of as the mayor just said, of what Hy-Vee's offering. So we look forward to having their name up there.
I mean, this is a big thing for them, but I don't think people recognize that they do a lot of stuff in the area. Tiny things with the groups, helping out with, things and stuff. And sometimes it's just helping, giving them some stuff for like having snacks and stuff. And they really do a lot of stuff. They fly under the radar for a lot of stuff. It's true. But pretty important to the community.
I think Mayor Hy-Vee's on the forefront here. They recognize what we have and what we're building. They were supporters and fans of the Chiefs before the Chiefs were world champions, and I think they're seeing the same in North Liberty and what's coming. So we certainly appreciate the efforts of Hy-Vee.
That may be a leap.
Without my
Maybe a leap.
credentials. Anyone else? Okay. Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Absolutely. Park,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Sittig,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Motion carries 4.5 to 0. Item 14 is off-road utility vehicles. It's 5-0 in case that needs to be rectified. Off-road utility vehicles, UTVs ordinance amendment. Item A is second consideration of ordinance number 2025-03, and this is an ordinance amending Chapter 75 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances governing the use of off-road utility vehicles, UTVs. Could I have a motion for our second consideration?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Leibold. Any questions about this one? Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Wason,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Sittig,
Aye.
Leibold.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. And item 15 is snow emergency and parking citation appeals ordinance amendment. This is our second consideration of ordinance number 2025-04, an ordinance amending chapters 69 and 70 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances concerning snow emergencies and contested parking citation appeals. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Sittig, seconded by Wason. Any questions about that? Tracy, roll call, please.
Wason,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Sittig.
Aye.
Motion carries. And item 16 is our zoning code ordinance amendment, and this is also a second consideration, but of ordinance number 2025-05, an ordinance amending chapters 167 and 169 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances governing definitions of and regulations for fences and accessory structures and uses. Could I have a motion for consideration?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Smith, seconded by Sittig. Any questions about this one? Tracy, roll call, please.
Smith,
Aye.
Sittig,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Leibold.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 17 is old business. Anything out there to bring back up?
Mayor, I would just like to thank Stephanie. Sorry I missed the vote. I was really hoping I'd be here for that vote. Stephanie and I have been able to work together outside of here, and welcome to North Liberty, and happy to see you as part of the team. So congratulations.
Anything else? Item 18 is new business. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn then, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Sittig, seconded by Park. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.